Episode 1. Nice to meet you. When we begin learning a new language, one of the very first things we want to do is to meet people and say hello. Human beings are social creatures. We love to connect, to smile, to introduce ourselves, and to make new friends. That's why the first episode of our journey together is called Nice to Meet You. It's simple, but it's powerful. Because in these first few words, you open a door to communication, to friendship, and even to opportunity. Let's imagine a simple situation. You walk into a room where you don't know anyone. Maybe it's a classroom, maybe it's a cafe, maybe it's even the first day at a new job. What do? You smile, you make eye contact, and you say the magic words, hello. This word may seem small, but it carries so much meaning. It says, I see you, I acknowledge you, I want to connect with you. Now, in English, we have several ways of greeting people. The most formal one, of course, is good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. These are polite, traditional, and safe. If you're not sure what to say, these expressions always work. Imagine meeting your teacher, your boss, or even a stranger in a formal setting. You look at them, smile, and say, good morning, immediately. The atmosphere is polite and respectful, but English is not only about formal language. It's also about sounding natural in daily life. That's why we also use hello, hi, and even hey. Now, some learners feel confused. They ask me, Professor, what is the difference between hi and hey? The answer is simple. Hi is friendly, polite, and neutral. You can use it almost anywhere. Hey, on the other hand, is much more casual. It's something you would say to a close friend or to a person you know well. If you say hey to your boss, it might sound too informal unless you already have a very friendly relationship. Let's do a little practice in your mind. Repeat after me slowly. Hello, hi, hey. Now, say it with a smile. You'll notice something interesting. When you smile, the word sounds more natural. That's because language is not just about words, it's also about tone, expression, and body language. Now let's move to the magic phrase of the day. Nice to meet you. Imagine you meet someone for the first time. They tell you their name, and you want to respond politely. You say, nice to meet you. This phrase is like a handshake in words. It communicates friendliness, respect, and positivity. For example, hello, my name is Sarah. Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'm Emily. See how simple it is, but the impact is huge. You've not only exchanged names, you've created a small connection. There is also a variation. It's nice to meet you. Both are correct. Nice to meet you is slightly shorter and more common in daily speech. It's nice to meet you sounds a bit more formal. Let's try it in a dialogue. Good morning. I'm David. It's nice to meet you, David. I'm Anna. Another common question is, what do I say when I meet the same person again? Here's where English gets interesting. If it's your first meeting, you say, nice to meet you. But the second time, you don't repeat the same phrase. Instead, you say, nice to see you again. This shows that you recognize the person and are happy to meet them once more. Let's practice. First meeting. Nice to meet you. Second meeting. Nice to see you again. Simple, right? But learners often forget this difference, and it makes them sound less natural. Remember, meet you is for the first time. See you again is for later meetings. Now, let's go deeper. In English-speaking cultures, introductions are not only about words. They are about context. In some cultures, people hug when they meet. In others, they bow. In English-speaking countries like the United States or the United Kingdom, the most common greeting is a handshake. But today, especially among young people, handshakes are less formal. Friends often greet with a wave, a hug, or even just a smile and a quick hey. So when you practice English, remember that culture and body language go hand in hand. If you want to sound natural, don't only memorize the words. Think about the situation. Is it formal or casual? Are you meeting a teacher or a close friend? Is it your first meeting or your 10th? Let me give you 3 short dialogues to make this practical. Dialogue 1. Formal. Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Johnson. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Johnson. I'm Emily. Dialogue to friendly hi. I'm Ben. Nice to meet you, Ben. I'm Sarah. Dialogue 3 casual hey. What's up? I'm Alex. Hey. Nice to meet you. I'm Chris. Do you see how the tone changes? The words are almost the same, but the feeling is different. This is why English learners need to listen carefully, not just to the words, but also to the sound and the mood. Another important thing: pronunciation. Many learners say meet you so quickly that it becomes meet you, and that's actually correct in real life. Native speakers often link words together. So nice to meet you sounds like nice to meet you. Don't be afraid of this. It's not lazy English, it's natural English. If you want to sound like a native, practice saying it smoothly. Nice to meet you. Now, let's imagine a situation. You are traveling to London for the first time. You meet your host family. They open the door and smile. They say, "Hello, you must be our new student." What do you reply? Of course, "Nice to meet you." That one phrase will make you sound polite, friendly, and ready to connect. But what if you forget what to say? Don't panic. Just smile, nod, and say hello. Even if your English is not perfect, people will understand your intention. And if you remember nice to meet you, that's even better. I want you to also think about rhythm. English is a rhythmic language. When you say nice to meet you, the stress is on nice and meet. Try it. Nice to meet you. Repeat it 3 times. This natural rhythm helps people understand you better. Finally, let's add a little humor. Imagine you meet someone and you're very nervous. You say, "Nice to meet you." Oops. That's a mistake some learners make. It's funny, but don't worry. Mistakes are part of learning. People will probably laugh, and you can laugh with them. In fact, sometimes mistakes create a friendly atmosphere. Just correct yourself and say, "Sorry, I mean meet you." And guess what? You just made your introduction even more memorable. When we talk about greetings and introductions in English, we're really talking about one of the oldest human traditions: how to start a conversation. From the very beginning of human history, people have always needed a way to signal friendliness and trust. Long before modern English existed, even in ancient tribes, there were gestures, sounds, and expressions that said, "I come in peace." In English today, hello and nice to meet you are our version of that universal human signal. But let's go deeper into the culture of greetings. English is not one single language, it's spoken in many countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and dozens of other places. And each of these regions has its own little twist on greetings. For example, in the United States, people are often quite friendly and informal. You might meet someone and they'll say, "Hey, how's it going?" Notice how this question isn't always a real question. Often, it's just a friendly way to start a conversation. You don't have to give a long answer. A simple "good, thanks. How about you?" is perfect. Americans often value friendliness and energy, so starting with a smile and a relaxed greeting makes a big difference. In the United Kingdom, on the other hand, people can be more reserved. A classic British greeting is simply hello or hi. Sometimes you'll hear "you all right?" which is not actually asking if you're okay. It's just a greeting, like saying "how are you?" Again, the best answer is short and simple. "Yes, I'm all right." You? The British style is often polite, calm, and understated. In Australia, people are famous for their casual friendliness. A very common greeting is "G'day, mate." This literally means "good day, friend." It sounds informal, cheerful, and warm. If you ever meet Australians, don't be surprised if they start with "Hey, how ya going?" That's their way of saying, "How are you?" So when you practice English greetings, it's not just about learning the words, it's about understanding the cultural flavor. This makes your English feel more alive and authentic. Now let's practice more dialogues, focusing on different situations. Situation 1. At a business meeting. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura, and I'm pleased to be here." "Good morning, Laura. Nice to meet you. I'm Thomas." Here, the words "good morning" and "nice to meet you" create a formal, respectful tone. This is perfect for the office or professional settings. Situation 2. At a cafe with friends. "Hey, this is my friend Maria. Hi, Maria. Nice to meet you. I'm Jake. Notice how the greeting is shorter, and the exclamation mark shows enthusiasm. This is friendly and casual. Situation 3. At an international event, hello. My name is Hiroshi. I'm from Japan. Nice to meet you, Hiroshi. I'm Emma from Canada. Here, both people introduce not only their names but also their countries. This is very common in international conversations. It helps people connect more quickly. Another important skill is asking for someone's name politely. In English, the most natural question is, "What's your name?" But if you want to be extra polite, you can say, "May I ask your name?" Or "Could you tell me your name, please?" These phrases show respect and friendliness. Let's compare them. Casual. "What's your name?" Polite. "May I ask your name?" Very polite. "Could you tell me your name, please?" It's not only about grammar, it's also about how you sound. If you smile and use a kind tone, even the short version, "What's your name?" can sound perfectly polite. Now, let's move to introducing yourself. In English, the most common way is, "My name is." For example, "My name is Anna." Another very natural phrase is, "I'm Anna." Both are correct. The first one sounds a little more formal. The second one is casual. So you might say, "Hello, my name is Anna. Nice to meet you," or simply, "Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you." Sometimes learners get nervous and forget which phrase to use. Don't worry, you can always just smile, say your name, and then add "nice to meet you." That's all you need. Another cultural detail. In English, people often use first names, even in professional settings. For example, in the United States, it's common to call your boss by their first name. In other cultures, this would be unthinkable. But in English-speaking countries, first names are seen as friendly and modern. Of course, if someone introduces themselves with a title, like "I'm Dr. Smith" or "I'm Professor Johnson," then you should use their title unless they invite you to do otherwise. Now let's practice some variations of introductions. Hello, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Good evening. I'm Dr. Stevens. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hi, I'm Lily. So nice to meet you. Hey, I'm Max. Great to meet you. All of these are correct. The difference is in formality, tone, and context. Let's also talk about body language. Words are important, but your body says just as much as your mouth. In English-speaking cultures, a firm handshake is traditional, especially in the United States and the UK. But with friends, a wave, a nod, or even a hug can be more natural. In Australia or Canada, a casual handshake or a friendly smile is often enough. Here's a tip. When you introduce yourself, try to make eye contact. Not a long, uncomfortable stare, just a warm, natural look at the other person's eyes. This shows confidence and friendliness. Also, keep your posture open. Don't cross your arms because that can look defensive. Instead, stand comfortably, smile, and let your body say, "I'm open to connection." Now let's look at mistakes learners often make. One common mistake is mixing up meet and see. Remember, nice to meet you is only for the first time. Nice to see you is for when you already know the person. If you say nice to meet you every time, it sounds strange. So pay attention to this difference. Another mistake is pronunciation. Some learners say meet you instead of meet you. This can sound funny because meat means food, like beef or chicken. So if you say nice to meet you, people might laugh. But don't worry, laughter can be friendly too. Just correct yourself and try again. Finally, let's talk about intonation. In English, the way your voice rises and falls can change the meaning. For example, if you say nice to meet you with a flat, bored tone, it doesn't sound friendly. But if you say it with rising intonation on meet and a smile, it sounds warm and welcoming. Nice to meet you. Intonation is the music of English. Practice it like you would practice a song. Now, let's create a short listening practice together. Imagine this conversation. Good morning. I'm Sarah. Good morning, Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you too, Michael. Notice the flow. Greeting, name, nice to meet you, response. This simple pattern is the foundation of every introduction. When we say nice to meet you, we're doing more than sharing words. We are building a bridge. That bridge is called connection. Every introduction is a small story, a story that begins with a greeting and can grow into friendship, teamwork, or even love. To truly master English greetings, we must explore not only the vocabulary but also the situations where these greetings happen. Let's begin with school and university. Imagine your very first day in a new class. You walk in, sit down nervously, and the teacher asks everyone to introduce themselves. What do you say? You don't need to tell your whole life story. A simple sentence works. Hello, my name is Sophia. I'm from Spain. Nice to meet you. Short, polite, and clear. That's enough to create a good first impression. Many learners worry. Should I say more? The truth is, less is more. In an introduction, your goal is not to entertain, but to open the door for future conversation. Now imagine the same situation at a university in the United States. Students often add a detail about themselves. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm studying engineering. Nice to meet you all. This small extra detail, your subject, your hobby, or your favorite food makes you sound confident and friendly. Now let's move to the workplace. At work, introductions matter even more. Your first impression can shape your professional relationships. Suppose you are starting a new job. Your manager says, "Everyone, this is our new colleague." What do you say? "Good morning. My name is Anna. I'm very happy to join the team." Nice to meet you. See how professional that sounds? You use polite language, you introduce yourself clearly, and you show enthusiasm. But at work, introductions can also be informal, especially among colleagues. Imagine a coworker comes to your desk and says, "Hey, I'm Jake. Welcome aboard." A natural response is, "Hi Jake, nice to meet you. Thanks for the welcome." This balance of friendliness and politeness is the secret to successful communication in English-speaking workplaces. Now, let's explore social gatherings. You're at a party, and your friend introduces you to someone new. What do you say? "Hey, I'm Emma. Nice to meet you." You don't need long explanations. At a party, people prefer short, casual introductions. If you want to continue the conversation, you can ask, "How do you know Sarah?" Or "Have you been here before?" This way, "nice to meet you" becomes the door to a longer, richer dialogue. Another important context is travel. Imagine you are visiting another country. You meet someone at the airport, at the hotel, or on a guided tour. Here's a typical exchange. "Hello, I'm Lucas from Brazil. Nice to meet you, Lucas. I'm Mia from Italy." Travel introduces a special detail: nationality. In international situations, people often include their country in the introduction. This helps others place you in the global map of communication. Now, let's practice expanding the phrase. Sometimes, instead of only saying "nice to meet you," we add a little more. "Nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you." "Nice to meet you. Thank you for your time." "Nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with you." These phrases make your introduction warmer and more specific. They show interest in the other person. But what happens after the introduction? How do we keep the conversation alive? Here's where follow-up questions help. The 3 easiest are: where are you from? What do you do? How do you know person, place? These questions are simple, but they open doors. For example, "Hi, I'm Chloe. Nice to meet you, Chloe. Where are you from?" "I'm from Canada." "Oh, Canada. I've always wanted to visit." See how a simple question creates connection? Now let's talk about pronunciation practice. Repeat after me. Nice to meet you. Say it slowly, then faster. Notice how "meet you" often becomes "meet you." This is called connected speech. It happens naturally in English, and if you practice it, you will sound more fluent. Another important pronunciation point is stress. English speakers stress the key words. Nice to meet you. Try clapping your hands on "nice" and "meet." It feels like music. This rhythm is what makes English sound natural. Let's also talk about mistakes with grammar. Some learners say, "I am name Anna," or "I call Anna." These are incorrect. The correct forms are, "My name is Anna," or "I'm Anna." Another mistake is forgetting the polite response. When someone says "nice to meet you," don't stay silent. Always reply with "nice to meet you too." This small word "too" makes your response complete and polite. Now let's add some fun with roleplay practice. Imagine you're meeting three different people. Person 1, teacher, good morning. I'm Professor Davis. Good morning, Professor Davis. Nice to meet you. I'm Emma. Person 2, friend at a party, hi. I'm Olivia. Hi, Olivia. Nice to meet you. I'm Ben. Person 3, traveler at the airport, hello. I'm Marco from Italy. Nice to meet you, Marco. I'm Daniel from the US. Notice how the same phrase, nice to meet you, works in every situation, but the tone changes. Formal, casual, international, all with the same key phrase. Let's go even further. Did you know that in history, people didn't always say hello? In fact, the word hello only became popular in the 19th century when the telephone was invented. Before that, people often said good day or how do you do. Today, how do you do still exists in British English, but it's very formal and old-fashioned. You might hear it at a formal event. How do you do? How do you do? This phrase doesn't really mean how are you. It's just a formal way of saying nice to meet you, so if you want to sound very traditional and polite, you can try it. But remember, most modern English speakers prefer the simpler, nice to meet you. Finally, let's reflect. Why is this phrase so important? Because it shows respect. Respect is the foundation of human relationships. By learning how to greet and introduce yourself, you're not only practicing English, you're practicing kindness. When we think of the phrase nice to meet you, we usually imagine it as a simple exchange, two people shaking hands, smiling, and trading names. But in reality, this phrase carries a deeper power. It is not just a line you memorize, it is a skill you can master, like playing a musical instrument. If you practice it with intention, it will shape how people see you, how confident you feel, and how smoothly conversations begin. Let's start by imagining a variety of real-life scenarios. Scenario 1. A job fair. You walk into a large hall filled with booths, companies, and recruiters. You approach a stand, and the recruiter smiles at you. What do you say? Good afternoon. My name is Laura. Nice to meet you. I'm interested in learning more about your company. This introduction has 3 parts: greeting, name, and polite statement. Notice how natural it feels. It's not robotic. It's human. Scenario 2. Meeting a neighbor. You've just moved into a new apartment building. A neighbor walks by and says hello. You respond, hi, I'm Daniel. I just moved in next door. Nice to meet you. Here. The phrase is short but friendly. Adding a little context, I just moved in, gives the other person something to continue the conversation with. Scenario 3. At a language exchange. Imagine you are practicing English at a language club. You sit at a table, and the person across from you introduces themselves. Hello, I'm Mai from China. Hi, Mai. Nice to meet you. I'm Carlos from Mexico. Notice how both names and nationalities are included. This creates not only an introduction, but also a cultural exchange. Now let's move to something learners often forget: how to respond when someone introduces another person to you. Imagine your friend says, this is my friend Alice. What should you say? The natural answer is, nice to meet you, Alice. You can also add, I've heard a lot about you. If that's true, this small addition makes your introduction warmer. There's also the polite response when someone says, nice to meet you. The best answer is, nice to meet you too. It may sound simple, but many learners forget to add to. Without it, the sentence feels unfinished. Let's try. A. Nice to meet you. B. Nice to meet you too. Easy, right? This rhythm of politeness is a key part of English interaction. Now let's talk about intonation and rhythm again, because they are so important. If you say nice to meet you too quickly, it might sound rushed. If you say it too slowly, it might sound unnatural. The trick is to emphasize the key words. Nice to meet you. Try saying it with a smile. Try saying it with enthusiasm. Try saying it with calm confidence. Each time, the meaning feels a little different. Here's a little practice exercise you can do. Stand in front of a mirror. Look at yourself. Smile. Say, nice to meet you. Repeat it 5 times. each time with a slightly different emotion: happy, serious, excited, calm, and curious. Notice how your face and voice change. This practice not only improves your English, it also builds your self-confidence. Another point: in English, introductions often include a handshake. Traditionally, a firm handshake, not too strong, not too weak, is a sign of confidence. But in some places, like during health concerns or in casual situations, people may prefer not to shake hands. In that case, a simple nod, smile, or wave is perfectly acceptable. The important thing is to match your body language with your words. If you say "nice to meet you" but your face looks bored, the words lose their power. Now, let's practice some extended dialogues. Dialogue 1 at the office. Good morning. I'm Emily. Good morning, Emily. Nice to meet you. I'm Mr. Smith. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Smith. I look forward to working together. Dialogue 2 at a cafe. Hi. I'm Julia. Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you. I'm Mark. Nice to meet you too, Mark. Do you come here often? Dialogue 3 at a conference. Hello, I'm Dr. Patel. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Patel. I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you too, Rachel. Which session are you attending? Notice how each introduction smoothly leads into further conversation. That's the real secret. Nice to meet you is not the end of the dialogue. It's the beginning. Now let's analyze a few common mistakes learners make with introductions, forgetting the polite response. If someone says "nice to meet you" and you only smile without replying, it may seem rude. Always say "nice to meet you too," mixing up meet and see. Remember, first time equals meet, later times equals see again. Using literal translations. Some learners try to translate greetings from their native language, but it doesn't always work. For example, in some languages you might say "good meeting" or "happy acquaintance," but in English that sounds unnatural. Stick to "nice to meet you," speaking too quietly. Confidence matters. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, a clear, friendly voice makes you sound much more fluent. Another interesting detail: online introductions. Today, we don't only meet people in person, we also meet them online in emails, Zoom calls, or social media. How do we say "nice to meet you" in those situations? In emails, the polite phrase is, "It's nice to meet you virtually," or simply, "Nice to meet you online." In Zoom meetings, people often say, "Great to meet you," even if it's just on screen. These little phrases show awareness of the digital context. Let's imagine, "Hello, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you virtually. I look forward to collaborating." This is professional, polite, and modern. Now, here's a mini cultural note. In some cultures, silence during an introduction is acceptable. But in English-speaking cultures, silence can feel awkward. That's why short, polite responses are so important. They fill the silence and keep the interaction flowing smoothly. Before we close this section, let's do a little practice quiz. I'll give you a situation, and you decide what to say. You meet your professor for the first time. Correct answer: "Good morning, professor." Nice to meet you. You meet a friend of your friend at a party. Correct answer: "Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm your name." You meet a colleague again after 1 week. Correct answer: "Nice to see you again." Did you get them right? If yes, wonderful. If not, don't worry, this is why we practice. Finally, let's remember one important truth. Language is about people. Words are tools, but people are the goal. By learning to say "nice to meet you" naturally, you are not just improving your English, you are opening yourself to new relationships, opportunities, and adventures. Every new greeting is a seed. If you plant it kindly, it may grow into something beautiful. The beauty of the phrase "nice to meet you" is that it belongs to one of the simplest, clearest, and most universal categories of English greetings. Yet, if we look closely, this simple phrase has many layers. In this part, let's peel back those layers and see how this everyday expression connects to grammar, culture, and psychology. Let's begin with grammar basics. The structure of the phrase "nice to meet you" is actually very simple. The word "nice" is an adjective, describing a feeling or an experience. The phrase to meet is an infinitive verb, and you is the object. Together, they form a short sentence that literally means, "It is nice for me to meet you." Even though we drop the "it is" at the beginning, we understand it naturally. That's why sometimes people say the longer version, "It's nice to meet you," grammatically. Both are correct. The shorter one is more casual. The longer one is slightly more formal. This leads us to an important lesson. English often shortens phrases for everyday use. People prefer fast, simple forms. Instead of saying, "It is nice to meet you," we just say, "Nice to meet you." Instead of "I am going to," we often say, "I'm gonna." These shortcuts make English sound more natural. As a learner, you don't need to use all of them immediately, but you should recognize them when you hear them. Now let's connect this grammar point to pronunciation and rhythm. The most natural stress falls on nice and meet. Try clapping as you say it. Nice to meet you. The rhythm feels balanced, almost musical. This rhythm is what makes English easy to follow, even if you don't know all the words. It's like a drum beat that guides the conversation. Next, let's talk about cultural psychology. Why do people say "nice to meet you" in the first place? It's not really about the words themselves. It's about making the other person feel valued. Think about it. When someone says to you, "It's nice to meet you," they are telling you that your presence has meaning, that you are worth acknowledging. That simple phrase builds trust, even between strangers. Here's an example. Imagine you're nervous on your first day at a new job. You walk into the office and someone says, "Hey, nice to meet you. Welcome to the team." Immediately, your shoulders relax. You feel accepted. One short phrase created that comfort. Now let's dive into realistic dialogues to practice this deeper layer of introductions. Dialogue 1. First day at work. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nina. Good morning, Nina. Nice to meet you. I'm Alex. Nice to meet you too, Alex. I'm excited to be here. Dialogue to conference networking. Hello. I'm Dr. Kim from Seoul University. It's nice to meet you. Dr. Kim. I'm James from Oxford. Nice to meet you too. James. Which session are you attending? Dialogue 3. Traveling abroad. Hi. I'm Elena from Spain. Nice to meet you, Elena. I'm David from Canada. Nice to meet you too, David. Is this your first time here? Each dialogue shows a natural way to use the phrase. But notice how the phrase is never the end, it's always the beginning of something bigger. Now let's focus on follow-up strategies. After you say "nice to meet you," what's next? A conversation cannot survive on introductions alone. That's why English has developed a set of simple, safe follow-up questions. These are sometimes called small talk. Here are 3 golden questions. Where are you from? What do you do? How do you know this person or event? These questions are simple, but powerful. They keep the conversation flowing without pressure. Let's see how it works in practice. Hi, I'm Lucas. Nice to meet you, Lucas. Where are you from? I'm from Argentina. Oh, Argentina. I've always wanted to visit Buenos Aires. Notice how one small question creates space for cultural exchange. Now let's add intonation practice. Imagine 2 learners saying "nice to meet you." Learner 1 says it flat. "Nice to meet you." Low energy. No emotion. Learner 2 says it warmly. "Nice to meet you." Rising tone, smile. Which one feels better? Obviously the second. Intonation is free, it costs nothing, but it changes everything. Now let's explore a common learner mistake: over-translating. Some learners try to use phrases from their native language and translate them word for word. For example, in some languages, people say, "Happy acquaintance." If you translate this into English, it sounds very strange. Always remember, English doesn't always match other languages. Stick with the natural phrase, "Nice to meet you." Another mistake is forgetting to respond politely. When someone says "nice to meet you," you should reply with "nice to meet you too." If you only say thanks or smile without words, the moment feels incomplete. Now, let's practice with a mini listening activity. Imagine these 3 conversations. Conversation 1A. Hello, my name is Peter. B. Nice to meet you. Peter. I'm Anna. A. Nice to meet you too, Anna. Conversation 2A. Hi, I'm Sarah. B. Hey Sarah, nice to meet you. I'm Tom. A. Nice to meet you too, Tom. Conversation 3A. Good evening. I'm Dr. Singh. B. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Singh. I'm Emily. A. Nice to meet you too, Emily. Simple, clear, polite. This is the pattern to remember. Let's also consider digital communication. Today, many introductions happen by email or video call. How do we adapt? In an email, the polite phrase is, "It's a pleasure to meet you via email," or simply, "Nice to meet you online." In video calls, people often smile and say, "Great to meet you virtually." These little adaptations show cultural awareness. Example, "Hello, Mr. Lee. It's a pleasure to meet you via email. I look forward to working together." This is both professional and modern. Before we close this section, let's connect back to psychology. Saying nice to meet you is more than a habit, it's a social ritual. Rituals make people feel safe. They reduce anxiety, create predictability, and set the stage for connection. That's why even in the digital world, we still say it. Humans need rituals to navigate new relationships. When learners first encounter the phrase "nice to meet you," they often treat it as a one-time formula. But if we zoom out, we can see that it belongs to a much larger system of social rituals in English. In this part, let's focus on how introductions connect to politeness, cultural norms, and everyday communication strategies. Let's start with politeness strategies. In English, politeness is not only about the words you choose but also about tone, timing, and balance. For example, if someone says, "Hi, I'm Laura," and you respond with silence, the interaction feels cold. If you respond with too much information, it feels overwhelming. The polite middle ground is, "Nice to meet you, Laura. I'm Daniel." Short, clear, and respectful. Now imagine you want to be even more polite. You can add extra phrases. "It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Thank you for taking the time to meet me." These variations elevate the interaction. They make you sound professional and attentive, but politeness also has cultural variations. For example, in the United States, people may be friendly and informal right away. They might say, "Hey, great to meet you." In the UK, people may prefer something calmer, like, "How do you do?" In Australia, you might hear, "G'day, nice to meet you." Each variation reflects a cultural style. Now let's turn to nonverbal communication. When you say "nice to meet you," your body language speaks too. Think of your handshake, your smile, your eye contact. These small gestures carry as much meaning as the words themselves. If your words are polite but your face looks bored, the introduction fails. If your words are simple but your smile is warm, the introduction succeeds. Here's a small exercise. Practice standing tall, smiling naturally, and saying, "Nice to meet you" with confidence. Record yourself, listen, and notice how different you sound when your posture changes. Now, let's dive into dialogues with different contexts. Dialogue 1: Formal dinner. Good evening. My name is Richard. Good evening, Richard. It's nice to meet you. I'm Anna. Nice to meet you too, Anna. Are you enjoying the evening so far? Dialogue to sports club. Hey, I'm Jake. First time here? Hi, Jake. Nice to meet you. I'm Emily. Yes, it's my first time. Nice to meet you too, Emily. Welcome to the club. Dialogue 3: Online meeting. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah, joining from New York. Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you virtually. I'm Tom, based in London. Nice to meet you too, Tom. Notice how each context shapes the tone. At a formal dinner, we add extra politeness. At a sports club, we keep it casual. Online, we adapt the phrase for the virtual setting. Another important skill is responding naturally. Sometimes learners only repeat, "Nice to meet you," without adding variety. But in real life, we can mix it up. Nice to meet you too. Pleasure to meet you. Glad to meet you. Great to meet you. Each has the same meaning but a slightly different flavor. This makes you sound more flexible and fluent. Now let's talk about common mistakes. One mistake is mispronouncing meat as meat. This changes the meaning completely and can sound funny. Another mistake is forgetting the to in the response. Without it, your reply feels incomplete. A third mistake is repeating nice to meet you every single time, even with people you already know. Remember, second meeting equals nice to see you again. To practice, here's a short role-play challenge. Imagine 3 situations: meeting your professor. Correct. Good morning, professor. Nice to meet you. Meeting a friend's friend at a party. Correct. Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm your name. Meeting someone for the second time. Correct. Nice to see you again. If you can respond quickly in these situations, you're already practicing fluency. Now let's connect this phrase to small talk. After introductions, people often add safe, easy questions. How are you? Where are you from? What do you do? These are not deep questions. They're warm-up questions like stretching before exercise. They prepare the ground for deeper conversation. Here's a mini dialogue to show how it works. Hi, I'm Sophie. Nice to meet you, Sophie. I'm Daniel. Where are you from? I'm from Germany. Oh, Germany. I visited Berlin last summer. Great city. See how quickly a connection forms. It all starts with nice to meet you. Finally, let's reflect on why this phrase matters. In English, introductions are rituals of respect. They don't just exchange names, they exchange trust. By saying nice to meet you, you tell the other person, I see you. I value this moment, and I'm open to connection. That's why this simple phrase is one of the most powerful tools you can learn at the beginner level. The phrase nice to meet you may look like just 4 simple words, but in truth, it is an entry point into the entire world of English communication. Once you master it, you'll begin to notice patterns, variations, and opportunities to build richer conversations. In this section, let's take a deeper look at how this phrase interacts with real-life communication through culture, emotions, and even mistakes that can become funny learning moments. Let's begin with culture and expectations. When you introduce yourself in English, you are not just saying words, you are following a ritual that shows you respect the person in front of you. Different cultures attach different importance to this ritual. For example, in Japan, bowing is essential. In France, people may exchange cheek kisses. In English-speaking countries, a handshake or a friendly smile usually completes the ritual. Even though gestures differ, the goal is the same: to create connection. Now imagine a beginner learner walking into a classroom in London. They are nervous. Their English is simple. But when they say, hello, my name is Maria. Nice to meet you, the teacher smiles warmly. At that moment, Maria's English doesn't need to be perfect. The phrase itself carries kindness, effort, and openness. That's what people remember. This shows us something important. Communication is about intention, not perfection. Even if you mispronounce meet as meat, people will understand. They may even laugh kindly, but the intention remains clear. In fact, mistakes often create connection. Humor and humility are powerful teachers. Let's play with some funny mistakes learners have made. Saying nice to eat you instead of nice to meet you. Saying nice to meet you like numbers and food. Forgetting the to in nice to meet you too, and leaving the other person waiting. These mistakes are not disasters, they are memorable learning moments. And often, people will correct you gently or laugh with you, not at you. Now let's practice with expanded dialogues to see how introductions naturally grow into longer conversations. Dialogue 1 at a networking event. Hello. I'm David. Nice to meet you. David. I'm Clara. Nice to meet you too, Clara. What do you do? I'm a graphic designer. And you? I work in marketing. Maybe we'll collaborate one day. Notice how the introduction opened the door to professional conversation. Dialogue 2 at the gym. Hey, I'm Sam. First time here? Hi, Sam. Nice to meet you. I'm Elena. Yes, I just joined. Nice to meet you too, Elena. If you need help with the machines, just ask. Here the introduction turns into a friendly offer of help. Dialogue 3 on a study abroad program. Hi, I'm Leo from Brazil. Nice to meet you. Leo. I'm Yuki from Japan. Nice to meet you too. Yuki. Have you been to this city before? No, it's my first time. Maybe we can explore together. Here, the introduction creates the possibility of friendship. Another important point: tone and register. In English, the same words can sound very different depending on tone. Let's compare. Formal tone: good evening. My name is Alexander. It's nice to meet you. Neutral tone: hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. Casual tone: hey, I'm Alex. Great to meet you. Each version fits a different situation. The formal one suits a job interview or a professional meeting. The neutral one is perfect for everyday situations. The casual one works with friends or peers. Now let's turn to pronunciation practice. Native speakers often connect the words meet you and to meet you. This is called connected speech. Try saying it quickly. Nice to meet you. At first it feels strange, but soon it becomes natural. This small detail will make your English sound smoother and more authentic. Another useful practice is intonation. English often uses rising intonation to show friendliness. Try saying nice to meet you with a little rise in your voice on meet. It makes you sound enthusiastic and welcoming. Now let's talk about variations. While nice to meet you is the most common phrase, you will also hear it's a pleasure to meet you. Formal: great to meet you. Casual: enthusiastic, glad to meet you. Neutral: friendly, happy to meet you. Less common, but positive. Learning these variations gives you flexibility. You can adjust your language to the situation, sounding either more formal or more relaxed. Here's a quick practice challenge. Match the phrase to the situation. Job interview: it's a pleasure to meet you. Meeting a new classmate: hi, nice to meet you. Greeting a friend's friend at a party: great to meet you. Now let's reflect on the emotional impact of introductions. Saying nice to meet you is not just about politeness. It's about creating a positive emotional space. Think of the times you met someone who seemed cold or uninterested. Compare that to someone who smiled and said warmly, nice to meet you. Which experience left a better impression? Exactly. Humans are emotional creatures. We remember feelings more than words. Finally, let's step back and see the bigger picture. The phrase nice to meet you teaches us 3 powerful lessons about language learning. Connection matters more than grammar. You don't need perfect sentences to create trust. A smile and a simple phrase are enough. Context shapes meaning. The same words can sound formal, casual, or playful depending on the situation. Practice builds confidence. The more you repeat and play with the phrase, the more natural it feels. So, as you continue your English journey, don't just memorize words. Practice them in real contexts. Smile, shake hands, make eye contact, and let the words carry your intention. That's how you transform nice to meet you from a phrase into a powerful tool for building human connection. When we reach the end of exploring the phrase nice to meet you, it's clear that this little sentence is more than a simple greeting. It's a key that opens doors, a bridge that connects strangers, and a ritual that makes human interaction smoother. In this final part of the episode, let's bring together everything we've learned, explore deeper examples, and practice real-life applications so that you feel confident using it anywhere in the world. Let's begin with real-life roleplays across different settings. Roleplay 1 at the airport. Hello, I'm Anna. I think we're on the same tour group. Hi Anna. Nice to meet you. I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you too, Daniel. Is this your first time here? Roleplay 2 at a business event. Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Lopez from the Madrid office. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mr. Lopez, I'm Sarah from the London branch. Nice to meet you too. Sarah, I hope we can collaborate. Roleplay 3 at a university club. Hi, I'm Tom. Are you new here? Yes. I'm Emily. Nice to meet you, Tom. Nice to meet you too. Emily, welcome to the club. Each of these conversations shows how the phrase adapts to context: casual, formal, and academic. Now let's focus on body language. When you say nice to meet you, your words are only part of the message. Your smile, your posture, your handshake, and your tone all work together. Imagine saying nice to meet you while frowning. The meaning changes completely. Communication is 7% words, 38% tone, and 55% body language, according to some famous studies. So practice aligning all 3. Here's a simple exercise. Stand in front of a mirror, smile, look at yourself and say, Nice to meet you. Then try it with different emotions. Excited, calm, curious, professional. Notice how your face and voice change. This will help you adapt to real-life situations. Now let's expand to variations for second meetings. Remember, nice to meet you is only for the first time. After that, you switch to nice to see you again. Practice both. First meeting, nice to meet you. Second meeting, nice to see you again. If you forget and repeat nice to meet you the second time, don't worry, people will still understand. But using the correct phrase shows that you're paying attention and that you sound more natural. Let's move to cultural notes. In the United States, introductions are often quick and informal. In the UK, they may be more reserved and polite. In Australia, casual friendliness dominates. In Canada, politeness and friendliness combine. Understanding these cultural nuances helps you adjust your tone and words. For example, us. Hey, great to meet you. UK. Hello. Nice to meet you. Australia. G'day, nice to meet you. Canada. Hi. It's nice to meet you. Same meaning, different style. Another important detail. Online introductions. With emails, video calls, and social media, many first meetings now happen virtually. Here are some examples. It's nice to meet you. Virtually. Great to meet you online. Pleasure to connect with you. These phrases show you are adapting to the modern world while keeping politeness intact. Now let's practice with a short quiz. You meet your teacher for the first time. What do you say? Good morning, professor. Nice to meet you. You meet the same teacher again 1 week later. What do you say? Nice to see you again. You meet a friend's friend at a cafe. What do you say? Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm your name. You meet someone in an online meeting. What do you say? It's nice to meet you virtually. If you answered these correctly, congratulations, you are already building strong habits. Let's also talk about intonation practice. Try saying nice to meet you in different tones. Rising tone. Nice to meet you. Sounds curious, friendly. Falling tone. Nice to meet you. Sounds confident, certain. Neutral tone. Nice to meet you. Sounds polite, calm. Each tone has its place. Rising tone works well in casual meetings. Falling tone sounds stronger in professional settings. Neutral tone is safe everywhere. Another point. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't confuse meet with meet. Don't forget the to when responding. Don't use nice to meet you every time you see the same person. Switch to nice to see you again. Now let's end with a reflection. Why do we spend so much time on just one phrase? Because small things matter. Language is not built only on long, complicated sentences. It is built on daily rituals, repeated hundreds of times. If you can say nice to meet you naturally, warmly, and confidently, you will make a strong first impression every time. And first impressions often decide the future of a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a job, or a chance encounter. So remember, these 4 little words are not small at all. They are the foundation of connection. Practice them, use them, and carry them with you. Wherever you go in the English-speaking world, nice to meet you will always be your reliable key to opening doors.